Hey, what's up? This is Joshua, daily video blog. I'm down by the Mississippi River in downtown Minneapolis, surprisingly wooded, and it's where I record most of these videos. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know I take a lot of photos back in here, largely of masses of green stuff. So what'll happen is I'm going to see something and I'll think like, oh, I should take a picture of that. I am going to see a broken branch or something, and there was a bunch of storms over the last few weeks, so there's all these downed trees, or there's all this beautiful stuff up in here. So I'm going to get this spark like I should take a picture of it, and 99 times out of 100 that thing that I saw that I thought I should take a picture of, it's gonna not work. It's not gonna come out. I'm not gonna see it. And instead what's gonna happen is in that vicinity, I'm gonna have my camera out and I'm gonna start finding a bunch of other stuff to shoot that is interesting, as in, you know, it's one of the maybe the benefits of the giant viewfinder that is an iPhone, is I'm gonna see all of this stuff and I'm gonna start photographing that instead. And every time I have an inkling, oh, I should shoot that, it's not going to turn out, because it never does. Now, with different tools, it might. It might be that with a proper camera, with proper glass, maybe I will get the thing I see in my head. Yeah, I don't doubt that someone like an Ansel Adams may have had a vision in his head when he took those photos. At first, a vision of, oh, look at that, and then the vision of how can I make it look as beautiful as possible, you know, these long exposures and slaving away in a dark room. I don't have that. I instead have impulse, and then once that impulse kicks in, I start shooting in the vicinity and I start looking for the thing that's going to matter to me. And I would say that almost every image of these sort of landscapes that I post to Instagram, none of them were the thing I thought I should take a picture of that. They're always more like, sorry, it's very mosquito-y. They're always more like the impulse was just important to get the camera out. And then I start exploring and looking around and looking for the stuff that I actually want to shoot. And it's funny because talking about it makes me constantly be scanning the environment right now. I am really hot and sweaty and it's awful, but it's gonna be great. So there's a vision in my head, and then I erase the vision in my head and I just move on to what is here, what does work when I'm looking for it, what looks like the thing that I want to make a kind of image of. Because in general, I don't think I'm interested in capturing a thing. I'm interested in like a sensation that I get when I look at certain types of images. So why am I bringing this up? For years, I've subscribed to a certain notion of making art where you come up with an idea. And I'd come up with an idea and I could see it in my head. I could imagine the size of the work, the medium, the subject matter, how it would install, maybe the website that I would show it or whatever. Maybe even like how I'd get funding for it. I'd have these very clear pictures in my head, and I never made those things. There's a couple of exceptions. The book projects that I did a few years ago were kind of like that, except that other people were involved and other people's money was involved. So I had a thing to motivate me. You know, getting sued would not be awesome. So, I'm sorry, this one's gonna be slow because I'm already hot and sweaty. So I'd have this vision, and my notebooks are filled with these painting projects. You know, keep in mind I went to art school, so I at least have a clue of how to make things. So painting projects, photo projects, sculpture projects, printmaking projects, all of these different projects that I could completely imagine. And I've never done one of them. And I've always felt bad about it. Like I'd have this vision, I'd be like, oh, all I gotta do is X, Y, and Z. And the few times I did these sort of projects, it took so much project management for me to actually do them. I had to like have a super step-by-step thing in like Basecamp that said like, do this, and then do this, and then do this, and then do this. Because otherwise, I just wouldn't do it. And I used to think that it was because I was procrastinating. and that I was really lazy, which I knew wasn't true because I work as hard, if not harder, than most of the people I know. I don't think laziness is the thing. But in my mind, I thought I could see it so clearly, and I'm not doing it. I must be lazy. I must be procrastinating. But now I'm insanely productive, at least creatively. So I make a video like this every day, and I shoot so many photos, and I share all of those photos, and I care deeply about it. And I think my Twitter is really good, if there's such a thing, you know, and I go on Snapchat and I share more stuff. So I'm doing all of this work, and I take a shitload of photos, and it's what I look forward to all day long now. I never had a vision in my head that I would be a photographer. I never had a vision in my head of the kind of photos that I make right now. I never had a vision in my head that I'd spend days, like as much time as I could, walking the Mississippi, taking photos of bushes, basically. But I do it daily. It's this addiction that I have. And it weirds me out that I don't procrastinate this. One of the things I'm starting to realize is maybe when you have that ultra clear vision in your head, it's not actually an idea to execute, it's a daydream or a fantasy. In the same way that there are so many people that deprive themselves of happiness because they have this idealized vision of what their life is going to be like, the idealized vision of what their life partner is going to be like, you know, the man of her dreams or the woman of your dreams or whatever. And that if you actually chase that, you are nearly guaranteed to be ungodly disappointed. But if instead you walk through life with open eyes and an open mind, you're going to bump into some people, and you're going to connect on some levels, and there's levels that they're going to fall short, and there's levels you're going to be awesome, and levels you're going to fall short. If you honestly went around, say, setting up dating profiles based on this dream person that you had, everyone would think you were stupid. I think these notebooks I have with projects that are never going to happen, I think they're the same thing. I think there's some idealized idea of creativity and creative work, and I don't do them, one, because they're fully articulated, and then two, what's the point of doing them? You can completely see what they are. There's no real point in doing it at all, right? Sorry, pedestrians passing through. They're kind of like a done deal. And on top of that, they're kind of like a fantasy, like a daydream of a perfect creative project, instead of a messy compulsion to make things and to share them and to be open to the process. So if you're like me, because there are other people who have a vision in their head and they chase it and they make the thing. But if you're like me and you get that vision in your head and then you never act on it, let go of the vision. It's not an idea for a project. It's not executable. It is a fantasy. In the same way that the perfect person is a fantasy, the perfect life is a fantasy, the perfect project that you're not interested in doing, even though you can see it so clearly and you know it would be awesome, that's not the project for you. It's just a fantasy or a daydream. File it away with the other ones and act on the impulses that you have instead. Act on the things that actually make you want to work, and don't feel like by taking 100 photos of greenery that you're somehow procrastinating on other projects. You're not. You're doing the actual work instead of the fantasy work. All right, that was a long one. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.